Manic Monday, everybody. Go, Pack, go. You are rocking and rolling. It's your man, Sammy the Man McIntyre, your host with Moving the Chains. Hope we're rocking, hope we're rolling today. We got a lot to talk about. Couple games I want to hit on today, couple tomorrow, and we'll just plan the week out. Get ready for content because this man's rocking, this man's rolling. Rocking and rolling right now. 9-5 in my picks. Didn't do too shabby. We got Green Bay, Chicago, Green Bay. That felt like a fantastic game. I know some of my Chicago family was sending me some DMs. Screw you, bro. It's all love. I'm just calling it how it is. You don't like it? Don't watch my podcast. Tough shit. Get over it. But I'm just going to come out and say it. So last night, I'll touch on that game. I'll touch on Bills, Bengals, how fantastic that was. Snowing. This is a great time of the year. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, and it is. But I want to start with last night's game. So Texans go into Kansas City and basically whip the Chiefs' ass. It didn't feel like that. It was a lot of hard hitting. Those defenses were flying around. But one team's going, the hot team right now, and one team, a dynasty's kind of dying. But it's not all lost. But I want to get to that. So I'm watching last night. Houston, to me, their defense is all, and to me, I've been watching football 18 years. It's got a chance to be one of the most elite defenses I've seen. And I'm maybe being hyperbolic one game, but I watched this Texans defense stifle people. It stifled the Chargers last year in the playoffs. It stifled Kansas City last night. It stifled everybody. Bo Nix, you name it. They have got guys everywhere on this defense that make plays. Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson. You have Lassiter, Stingley on the corners. You have at safety Jalen Petrie, who's like a nickel. He plays like everything. He's a beast. D'Amico, his energy, his focus. And this offense, it drives me a little crazy. And I don't love it at times. But C.J. Stroud having him back makes a huge difference. Now, do I believe moving forward Houston could go win a Super Bowl? I don't. But with this defense, you're going to be in games in the playoffs. Because you look at the Colts right now, they're winning this division. Going away. I mean, the Colts are in shambles. Jacksonville, I don't really trust them, but they're 9-4. Liam Cohen's got the team in the right direction. I don't know. But I'm watching last night with Houston. I have got so much respect for D'Amico. Was great as a player. Comes from Alabama. Badass, tough guy. Very, very good player. I don't have Hall of Fame. But I remember when the Eagles got him. Andy Reid was in Philly that last year when they got D'Amico from Houston. Immediately captain. He's that kind of presence. The energy, the focus. I think the Niners, honestly, their defense hasn't been the same since he left. I'm just being honest. I watch it, and it's not the same. But that being said, Houston has got all the components to be very good for a long time. I'm being dead ass. Now, it's easy for C.J. Stroud when he's on a rookie contract. You don't have to pay everybody. You're not paying him $400 million. You're very limited. And you got to hit on picks. But I'm watching Houston with Nick Caserio and D'Amico. They have got such a core of players. I mean, they got about 7 or 8 guys that are elite. I'm being dead ass. Will Anderson, the pass rushers, the corners. C.J. Stroud, solid. The running backs aren't bad. Their offensive line's okay, not great. But I'm watching last night, man. That Texan defense is like a boa constrictor. It just suffocates you, and you have no room to breathe. And we can talk about Kansas City and how they're bad on third down. I'll get to them in a second. But I'm watching last night a defense that could be an all-timer. I mean, I'm being dead ass. Like, they have got dudes everywhere, and I love watching this defense play. I really do. They're a bunch of ass kickers, like F the play up kind of people. And I'm being serious. So, great win for Houston. They get off the schneid. Fantastic win. And they're hot right now. They're really hot in this league. And then on Kansas City side of things, that was rough last night. This has been a rough season for the Chiefs. And mind you, with that loss last night, they have the same record, I'll repeat it, as the Miami Dolphins. It's pretty embarrassing. But I'm not going to say the sky's falling in Kansas City. It's been falling all year long. It's just been an off year. It's time for a reboot. You got to restart. It's what happens when you pay Mahomes $400 million. He's great, and I'm not disputing that. But he's not the same player he was. Not to say like he's a bum and he can't. No, that's not what I'm saying. But the last 2 years, I'm watching Buffalo and Cincinnati in Buffalo on Sunday. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. They're better than Patrick Mahomes. At this moment right now, game on the line, you give me Mahomes, I got you. Those two guys, I don't think sniff a snowman's chance in hell in winning an Arrowhead, depending on the game. But at this moment right now, Kansas City, Mahomes is just not on that level right now. Now, he threw 3 picks last night. Some of that, it hit the guy's hands. They're just having stupid shit mistakes. I'm not going to trip on that. But Travis Kelce is like a shell of himself. He's going to retire. He's got 1 foot in the door out, whatever. And, he's had a Hall of Fame career. Chris Jones is kind of a roller coaster. You don't know what you're getting. So the dynasty's kind of over right now. But it's not all lost. If I'm the Chiefs, I don't know, win like 8 games, get like a top 16 pick, and try and get in that sweepstakes. Because the other thing that I think Kansas City's struggling with is they're picking so much at the bottom of the first round. And it's hard to get great players when you're at the bottom of the first round. Now, I'm not saying that they've hit on guys that like middle of the rounds. I got that in the first round. Not later rounds, they've been okay. But I'm watching last night. Kansas City's got to do a reboot. I mean, you got to start over. Get new, replenish. Bring some speed, man. Get guys that can just help Mahomes out, catch the ball. He needs help, man. He's like every quarterback. Brady went through this. Manning, Marino, you name it, man. The all-timers. Elway was great. He wasn't as great until he got Terrell Davis and won 2 Super Bowls. So I just feel like with Kansas City, I'm never going to count them out. Even my dad last night, my brother's like, Kansas City's losing. I looked at my dad. I said, I've seen him twice live. Can't count Mahomes out. And they kept fighting, last night. And credit to Kansas City's defense to shut down that Houston offense, which at times can be potent. Obviously, Nico Collins, absolute freak show. Michigan guy. Rep it. Awesome. But I'm watching last night that defense. Now, granted, they got to see if their offensive lineman's out. Morris, I think that was starting in place of the other guy. He's out. So they're just down a patchwork offensive line. This feels very Charger-like to me, where you have your elite 2 left tackles are out. Now, Kansas City doesn't have that luxury, but it kind of feels like that to me when I'm watching it last night. And that was going to be a hard matchup regardless. Houston's got dudes everywhere on defense. And their team speed, turn the TV off. It's like Seattle. It's so nasty, so fast, physical, everything. So, Kansas City's, they're going to be okay. But this is just a down year for them. And they're dominating. It's how the things of the dynasty. They're dominating. They kick ass. And then they win all these close games and they're not winning them. It's kind of how it is. So, Brady went 10 years without a Super Bowl. And the 107 team should have won that, but they didn't. So, it just kind of comes with the territory. So, I just think Kansas City's going to be okay. They're going to go back in the lab. Brett Veach, the Hunt family. I trust this organization. They're like the Packers or the Chiefs or the Packers, the Ravens, or Seattle or Tampa, the Rams. They're in that core. They got a long way to go. This offensive line needs retooled, needs shaped. And I trust Andy Reid to do that. So, not all is lost to Kansas City, but it was very alarming last night. Mahomes looks a little off. They got to go in the offseason and start replenishing and reboot. That would be my word for Kansas City. Because that looked pretty bad last night. Speaking of the game that most people watched yesterday, I did, and I'm repping Green Bay. Go, Pack, go! Yep, they won yesterday in an absolute classic game. 12 degrees, black and blue, NFC North football. It doesn't get much better than that. Bears, Packers, Lambeau, under the lights, mid-afternoon game. It just felt awesome. And Jordan Love, say what you want, man. That guy's elite. He's a gamer. He's slinging that pill. The minute that back foot hits, he's launching bombs. And it is on like Donkey Kong. And Matt LaFleur and Ben Johnson, there's some drama going at it. He was talking shit before when he got the Bear job, want to beat Matt LaFleur's ass, man. And for about most of that game, I thought the Packers might lose this. Because early on, I went 14-3. They're going to stomp them. They're going to step on their neck. And Bears, they're not ready for the stage yet. And give the Bears credit. They fight, man. They're a competitive football team. And I give the Bears credit. Like, you guys have been good all year. And you're going to beat the Packers one of these times. Now, is it in Chicago in 2 weeks? I don't know. Because to me, and I will say this, I'm rooting for Chicago sports to be great. They deserve to be great. We're in the big cities, New York, LA, Chicago. Those are three, right? Miami, Philly, you can put those in there. And the Bears are a good football team. They're doing good things right. They're winning the turnover battle. Their offensive line's dominant. They're leaning on those guys. And I give Ben Johnson credit. He's been the best coaching hire the Bears have had since Mike Ditka. And I'm being honest. But I just go back to this with Caleb Williams. And he's impressed me. And I'm a critic. Because it's just maddening to me, as a fan of football, to watch this guy continuously, and I mean continuously, skipping balls left and right. Like, come on, Caleb. You've got every ounce of resources around you. Above average offensive line. Weapons galore. Smart offensive head coach. And it looks like that? Come on, man. And I understand he's got the jitters. He's young. I got all that. But we're impatient now as ever. And it's worked with Ben Johnson, but I'm going to say this again. This marriage, to me, feels more Brett Favre, Mike Holmgren than it is Jared Goff and Ben Johnson. Now, Jared Goff's talented, not disputing that. Caleb's got more horsepower. That's undisputable. Because I'm watching yesterday, and he is throwing that ball with 12-degree weather. And yeah, I understand. He played in the D.C. area. He's used to the cold. But he's been in California for 3 years, so I kind of had some skeptics. He could play in that cold. Now, he's going to get conditioned to it and play long enough. But I feel like I watched the Bears-Packers 2010 yesterday. Driving down in the game. The Bears are going to snatch from Green Bay. And Green Bay said, nope, not today. And once again on schedule, Caleb Williams turned into Jay Cutler and gave Bear fans nightmares. He did again. And again, I'm not sold on Caleb. He's impressive. He's got all the traits. But again, too much freak show act. Too much. I'm never going to be sold on him. And I think this coaching staff and Ben Johnson at some point is going to say enough's enough. I can't deal with this anymore. Because there's times he takes the ball out of his hands. Now, am I saying that in a bad way? I don't know. But the Bears played well yesterday. They played 2 more quarters. Who knows what the outcome is? Maybe the Bears win. I don't know. But that was about as good a game, and the Bears lost. But I feel good. If you're a Chicago Bear fan, you feel good this morning. See you in 2 weeks. Let's go. So, not all is lost. But when I watch a Bears game now, I just look at Caleb, and it just drives me mad and crazy. That he's skipping balls left and right. Feet, base, throw. Be precise, be accurate. No stupid shit. And to his credit, he barely throws picks. Okay. But yesterday, when the game on the line, when they needed to play, he couldn't deliver. So, again, I'm not trying to shit on the Bears. You had a good game yesterday. But you got to learn from your lessons, Caleb. Stop doing that shit. Stop doing I get it. But the NFL is different than college, bro. So, on the Green Bay side of things, that was impressive. Jordan Love is just fantastic. I think I started off with the segment talking about Jordan Love, but then I got in the Bears. So, Jordan Love is fantastic. He's conditioned to play in this cold weather. And I've said this for years. When you play in this cold weather, you're playing in the Midwest, it's as cold as it gets. It is. I've lived in, I've been in Chicago during winter. I've been to Wisconsin, and it gets cold. Not in winter, but I've been in the fall. But I'm watching yesterday. The Packers now, they're catching heat at the right time, and it is fantastic. They're running ball well enough. This defense is awesome and excellent. Probably the best defense they've had since the Aaron Rodgers 2010 season. This feels like 2 years ago at Green Bay. They're catching at the right time. They're on this run. Watch out, because as I'm speaking today, they have the number 2 overall seed. You know what that means? Team's got to go to Green Bay in the 10-degree cold. That's not ideal. And they have the components to do it. They run the ball well enough. They're very creative. Getting Christian Watson is the huge X factor. Now, losing Tucker Kraft sucks ass, and it's awful. But you lose one guy, you kind of balance out the scale a little bit in terms of importance. They're both important. Tucker Kraft, maybe a little bit more than Watson, but now Jordan Love has a dependable number 1 receiver that just is different. His speed is different. You can feel it. I'm seeing it on the TV. I can't imagine at the game yesterday how good that speed is. And Jordan Love has got everything I want in a franchise quarterback. He lets it rip, makes good decisions most of the time. He's going to be a little Favre, whatever. But I'm watching yesterday. Matt LaFleur's a good coach. I know a year ago I crapped on him, but he's a solid coach. And Green Bay is just very ahead of the curve and getting these offensive guys. They're just a well-run operation. For 30 years, they've been this. And I just was marveling at Green Bay yesterday. They looked fantastic. They looked awesome. They got the Ravens coming up. They got some tough games coming up. Green Bay, it feels like 2023 Green Bay. Right place, right time. Bang, let's go. So, awesome game yesterday. Bears, Packers. Doesn't get much better than that. And Green Bay comes out victorious. Although I will give credit to Chicago. They played their ass off. But it just goes to show, man. And again, I will hope the Bears do well moving forward. And I think you have the right coach and everything. Still don't trust this organization with a grain of salt. I don't trust it. I don't trust McCaskey. I don't trust it. But in this moment, the Bears are good. And they look good. And last but not least, I caught glimpses yesterday. It was Bills, Bengals. Bengals in Buffalo, in the snow. Fantastic. Just the scenery. It just looked cool. Winter is upon us, and I'm here for it. Sign me up, winter football. Just like when you were a kid. And I'm watching the Bengals yesterday. And the Bengals shit this game. Shit the bed. You're up by 10 in the fourth quarter. And then the Bills just avalanche of scoring. And a thought hit in my head. I know the Bengals get a lot of crap. They're cheap. Paul Brown. I got it. But Joe Burrow, he's just insane. He's just awesome. For a guy that loves football. He's Tony Romo, but better. I'm being serious. And I'm watching yesterday. They got Jamar Chase in there. Jamar Chase had an off game. Doesn't matter. They got T. Higgins. And everybody complained. Everybody's like, well, that's not the way to do it. Oh, it's the way to do it in Cincinnati. When the Bengals have been good my entire life, they've had 2 great receivers. Chad Johnson, TJ Hushmanzada. And they had Chris Henry, before he passed away, R.I.P. His son's going to Ohio State, by the way. Go figure. Another 5-star kid. So, and they have always had decent tight ends. Gresham, Gesicki. But I'm watching yesterday with Joe Burrow. I don't... He's insane. And he's a hell of a talent. And kudos to Joe Burrow for playing a good game. He did have the 2 picks at the end that kind of derailed him and got the Buffalo, thing going. But I will say this. I respect the hell out of Joe Burrow. And I think the Bengals, this offseason, got to go all defense. I would just go defense. Now, Trey Anderson being out the rest of the year hurts like crazy. But I really think the Bengals, and they shot themselves in the foot. They got off to that awful start, and they're trying to come back. Season's over, but that was impressive yesterday. To go into Buffalo, and I still got my concerns with Buffalo. I'll get to that in a second. But that was just impressive. And the Bengals shit the bed, but to watch 2 quarterbacks just sling that pill around in the snow, doesn't get much better. It's like football porn to me. It doesn't get much better. So I want to talk about Buffalo. So I know Buffalo came back and won yesterday, and people are going to say, well, Sammy, are you happy? I'm not. Buffalo still, to me, underwhelms me because I don't trust this defense. You cannot, and I'm saying this right now, you will never win a Super Bowl, college, pro, with a shitty defense. You just can't. It's got to be middle of the pack, and you got to make stops. And I'm watching Buffalo yesterday. I know Cincinnati's a handful to deal with offensively. I just mentioned that. But to give up 200 yards rushing, this Buffalo defense is a sieve. And they have got good players. They're not great. This roster needs to be deeply inspected because I don't sense great on this team. You got Josh Allen, who's elite. James Cook. The tight ends are great. But where's your go-to? Where's your receivers? And people go, well, Sammy doesn't matter. I understand it. It does matter. Okay? Go ask. I know Patrick Mahomes, he won a Super Bowl without him. Kind of matters. And it's time to go. And I think McDermott, time to go. That's your baby, and you're sucking ass on your side of the ball. I'm sorry. I can't keep taking the Buffalo seriously. And Josh Allen, take the Superman cape off of him, please. He's doing it all by himself. Again, I've seen this fucking movie. He's incredible. But he's like the one-man band. I'm not impressed. And you've got to fight and scratch and claw just to get in the playoffs because New England beat your ass in your house. So, great win for Buffalo, but God, it's just embarrassing. Ugh. Better get better on defense because that offense can put up with points with anybody. But this defense is a sieve and won't stop a goddamn soul. So, I got a couple games I want to hit on tomorrow, and then I'll do my Raider reaction. But hope you guys are doing really, really well. It's Manic Monday. Appreciate the support. Doing this podcast, something I love. Adios. Godspeed.